All right, boys. So now we're going to calculate the speed, distance, and time taken of an object. Okay, this is actually some straightforward stuff. We're going to be using these practice questions over here on the back. And here we're going to calculate speed, units, how to calculate speed, how to calculate distance, how to calculate time. Okay, I think once we get into it, you'll find it pretty easy. Okay, so first things first, before we get going, units. Distance is measured in time, and speed is measured in kilometers per hour or meters per second. That's what these two things mean: meters per second, kilometers per hour. I prefer this one, kilometers per second. Meters per second, because that's what we're actually going to be working out ourselves quite a bit. So it'll be much easier for you. All right. So to calculate the speed of something, we divide the distance that the object takes by the time it takes them. Speed equals distance over time, or distance divided by time. So Yazid runs 120 meters in 24 seconds. What is Yazid's speed in meters per second? Well, we know speed is what we're trying to calculate, is equal to distance. He ran 120 meters in 24 seconds over time. So 120 divided by 24 is? So the answer is 5 meters per second. I actually had to double check myself there, but it's 5 meters per second. All right, so let me just go back quickly before we get all carried away, and I assume you know what's going on. So, those were all our practice questions. So distance is measured in meters, speed is measured in meters per second. So if you ever want to work out how fast something is going, you just need to figure out how far did it travel, what was its distance, and how long did it take to cover that distance in seconds or in hours or whatever it is, and that's time. So speed equals distance divided by time. Okay. Let's give it a few practice shots. Did I not give you your answers? All right. So here are 4 questions. I would like you to pause the video, and in a few seconds I will put the answers up for you. Okay, and then I actually might do some calculations with you to help you. But go for it, pause, and try and figure out the answers. All right, so let's go. You arrive in my class 45 seconds after leaving maths. I took it from an American question, sorry about that, which is 90 meters away. How fast did you travel? Well, let's go to the next slide and let's work it out. So to work out speed, it is distance divided by time. The distance you traveled is 90 meters. You traveled it in 45 seconds. So that means you will have 90 divided by 45, use your calculators, is 2 meters per second. All right, so that's the answer for the first one. Well, come back and let's erase all of this. Nope, there we go. All right, so let's go back. In a competition, an athlete threw a flying disc 139 meters through the air. While in flight, the disc traveled at an average speed of 13 meters per second. How long did the disc remain in the air? Okay, so this one's a bit trickier because now it's telling us we have distance, we have speed, but we need to work out time. So now we've got to change this one around. So we've got to have time is equal to distance. Is it distance? Distance divided by speed. So we just take distance divided by speed. So what that should give us is the distance traveled is 139 meters divided by speed, which was 13 meters per second, which would give us 10 seconds. All right, so I know you hadn't done this one yet, but you can write this in your notes. Time equals distance divided by speed. All right, cool. Let me go back to my previous one. How far can your little brother get if he can travel at 2.5 meters per second in 5 seconds? So now we're trying to find distance. So to get distance, it is speed multiplied by time. Okay, so if he is traveling, I need to go back. If he's traveling 2.5 meters, 2.5 meters times by 5 seconds, which will give us 12.5 meters. All right, so remember, I need to always make sure I got those right over there. And that is the third formula you're going to need. Distance equals speed times time, or multiplied by time. Okay, let's go back one. If you shout into the Grand Canyon, your voice travels at the speed of sound, 340 meters per second. And yes, that is actually the speed of sound, or roundabout there, to the bottom of the canyon and back. You hear the echo. How deep is the Grand Canyon at the spot where you can hear your echo 5.2 seconds after you shout? Oh, I really gave you difficult questions here. All right? So it may seem straightforward. So it's going to be this one again, distance. So let's erase some of this at the top here. Okay, so it's going to be distance equals speed times time. Okay, so that is distance equals speed times time, and it is speed equals 340 times by time, which was 5.2 seconds. Yeah, 5.2, which means 340 times by 5.2 is 1,768. All right, 1,768. But that's not the distance to the bottom of the canyon, because if this is the canyon and you shout and it bounces back and you time how long it takes to get there and back, what you're timing is twice the distance, because it's got to go down, it's got to bounce and echo back and come back to you. So you've got to divide that by 2, which will give you the answer 884. All right, so boys, speed and distance, it seems a bit trickier for now. Try the questions below, see if you guys can get into the practice of it. If not, ask me for some more questions. Ask me for some more practice so we can work on this. Okay, I'm not going to stop it because it's difficult. In fact, I'm just going to keep pushing us to figure out how to do this, because I know you guys can do it. I just need to push you to push yourselves to try and do difficult things. You can do it. All right. Cheers, boys. Good luck.